Hello Steelers and welcome to another hobby update. Another week has gone by and we're over halfway through February at this point. God, where's the time going? I was away for work this week, so I didn't get a huge amount painted, but I did actually manage to get painted the German Stosstruppen platoon. These are from Battlefront 15mm. I started these the other week. These have actually just been in the painting pile to do for quite a while at this point, and I thought let's just break it out and let's just get on with painting them. The hardest part was doing the helmets because I'd wanted to do them in the German multicolour camouflage from the First World War. Basically what I used for these was Vallejo flat brown for the brown, flat earth for the brown. I then also used USA uniform for the green, and then finally dark sand for the yellow as well. And I think they're quite bright, so they kind of stand out a little bit on those helmets. And there's a full platoon there, there's a flamethrower in there, there's a couple of MG08 15s as well in there. The smaller cut down versions of the Maxim guns, so that'll be quite an interesting little unit to use. And I know at the moment Dex is currently painting up some US Marines, so we might have some 1918 fighting going on at some point in the future. It seems like he's got interest in the First World War all of a sudden. I also painted as well. I found that I got a load of Peter Pig casualties as well from the First World War. These are the German ones. These are ones that were unpainted. I obviously painted them. I've got a few others, a few British as well in there that I just put in a bag, and I just put them in a box and forgotten about them. So I got those painted, and that's again just a nice little addition. But that's really all I've painted this week. I started on some French voltages just to try to get those finished off from the French box set that Warlord sent ages ago. So they hopefully will be done by next week at some point. In the post I've had very little. The thing that came through was the latest WSS Magazine, which has got my article in it about the Battle and Miss scenes, and I know that Joe Hudgens, who watches some of these videos, has already played the first scenario out of it. So it's brilliant to see somebody playing a game that you've written, especially somebody over in America as well. You know, it's interesting that with 3,000-4,000 miles away somebody's playing a game that I dreamt up. So that's quite nice. Quite nice to see the article in there as well. It's nice always to have your name in print, isn't it? I'm going to write some more articles for them in the future, so that's something to look out for. Obviously, if they accept them, and I hope they will. But also, speaking of articles as well, James Morris is currently, as I record this, he's putting the finishing touches to his article about the games that we played using his Verdun setup down at War Games Illustrated a couple of weeks ago. So that will be out at some point in future. Obviously, I'll let you know when it comes out. But I've added a little bit here and there, just a bit of background information for him that he's asked for. So I kind of helped him out there. But obviously, the bulk of the writing is his. I still have those videos to come out at some point in future, so they will be coming along. I've just kind of got a bit of a backlog at the moment of videos to release slowly over a while. The other thing as well I played this week, relatively quiet, is we played Memoir 44, myself and Dee, down at the club on Thursday. We managed to get through 3 scenarios. I can't remember which ones we played off the top of my head. If Dean's in the comments, I'm sure he can tell me. But it basically turned out it was a 2-1 win for Dean. The last one was a pretty difficult one. It was a Sultan Paris one. And I was the German defenders, he was the Free French attackers, and he absolutely mullered me within about 3 turns. It was over pretty quick, but we got through 3 scenarios, and I've forgotten really how much of a good game Memoir 44 is. It is fun. You know, that it's simple and it's fun, and it's a nice introductory game, board game for Second World War wargaming. I played a lot of the Command and Colours games. I've got the Napoleonics. I used to have Memoir 44, but I think I sold it many years ago. And I've also got the Great War from Plastic Soldier Company, and they all use the same basic setup. I've done quite a few videos on the Napoleonic Command and Colours on the channel, some of the older videos they're kicking about, and I've also done some of the Great War, as well as I think I did a few live videos of that, playing it live and recording that as well. And I've always enjoyed them. I think it's a really good simple system. I think overall I probably prefer the Napoleonic one, because there's just a little bit more nuance in it than there is in the Second World War one. because Memoir 44 feels a bit like it's because it was produced through World of Wonder, I think they're called. It's quite a simplistic version of the game, whereas the Napoleonic one has a few more little nuances in, like forming squares and using combined arms, a few other bits and pieces like that. So I think the Napoleonic one's just got slightly more flavour than from the Second World War one, and I think the First World War one is good as well. But still, it's good to play Memoir 44, and I've literally not played it for years. The last time I played was with Dean in his flat, so we're probably talking a decade ago, and before that it was when I was living in Iceland, so we're probably talking 15 years ago, a long time ago. But yeah, great fun, good games. In other news, this week as well, somebody had posted on Blue Sky about the original role-playing game for Judge Dredd, and I had a copy of it. I got rid of it years ago, and then a friend very kindly let me have his copy of it, which I've got here, which is in almost perfect nick because he didn't do anything with it. He also cut out and kept all the figures as well in here. It's even got the original dice in there as well, and it's one of those things that's barely been read. He also gave me as well the Judge Dredd Companion as well as part of it, and he gave me Slaughter Margin as well, the boxed game set. So the absolute just nostalgia feels off all of those. And I was looking at it, and I remembered that when I bought What a Cowboy by John Savage, when it first came out, one of my first thoughts to do, and I played it as a live game, was to do What a Drokker, a Judge Dredd version of it. So I dug out my miniatures, Judge Dredd miniatures game from Warlord as well, which I've had for a few years. I'm not particularly keen on this game. I find it a little bit clunky. There's my biggest upset with it is that there are 4 dice rolls when you're shooting to hit somebody. So you shoot, then they dodge, a weapon strength test, and then they do an armour test or a save test. So it's like 4. That could be put down into 2 rolls quite easily, and this is kind of what a cowboy does. You basically roll to hit. If you hit, they dodge, and then that hit then transfers into what damage it does. So it's a lot slicker. And I thought What a Cowboy would work very, very well for Judge Dredd. What a Drokker. So I basically sat down and started writing it. Now John sent me his What a Cartel, basically moderns, drug cartels, DEA, ATF kind of games. So he sent me that ages ago. He'd written it quite a long time ago. I think it's like 2021. It says on the sheets that he's given me, and basically it's pretty much already there. I've had to make a few tweaks here and there for Judge Dredd. For example, Judge the Lawgiver, the gun, is because in Judge Dredd it has several different settings. You really need to. I needed to work that out just from a gaming point of view and how it works, and I think I've kind of got it. So what I'm going to try and do is I'll probably actually make a video about this and do a little test game today, because today I've got a bit of a free day again, so I'll probably do that, I think, and just basically see how it goes with some of the rules that I've written, just put together relatively quickly. And as I say, I've kind of leaned very heavily on John's. There's no point reinventing the wheel. He's already done most of the legwork when it comes to a lot of weapons and things. All I've done is literally just change names here and there for things like like a spit pistol instead of a machine gun, that kind of stuff. So it's something I'm going to have a go at this afternoon, I think. Depending on if I can stay awake. I didn't sleep very well last night, but I'm going to have a mess about with it, and I think I will film it just as a game, as a bit of a demonstration game. As I say, I did actually do a live game of What a Drokker a long time ago, but using the very basic What a Cowboy rules, with very few changes. So it was basically just set in Mega City 1. But Judge Dredd is basically, it's Dirty Harry, it's the westerns, the lone gunman kind of westerns. So it fits perfectly with What a Cowboy and that theme. And What a Cowboy is such a good game anyway. I've not had it on the table for a while, but it's a great fun game. And I know Dean has been interested in playing some of it at some point as well in future. So that's something to come, something that I'm going to be having a little look at and just having a think about as well over the coming weeks. Whether it ever becomes something more than a file on my computer is a different matter, but you never know. It might make it out into the open world at some point, but we'll see. The other thing is as well, just this week, we have an all-day games day down at the club on Sunday, so I was thinking I'll take GDA 2 down, introduce Dex to it, and Dean, if he's coming along as well, we can have a game of that. And I wanted to take my epic figures down that I've got, because I think I've got enough basically for a game at this point, and because it'll be a learning game for those two guys at least, it'll be a good way of, you know, spending a Sunday afternoon not having to worry too much about, you know, packing up at 10 o'clock or whatever. We can play until we need to really, you know, good few hours at it and get a good result out of it. But if that happens, if I do get down there and that happens, I will make as many shorts as I can, and I'll stick those up on the channel as well, so look out for those. And that's as much as I can tell you really this week. That's been it. It's been relatively quiet, a few bits and pieces here and there, but as always, fun. And as usual, if you don't subscribe to the channel, please do hit the like and subscribe. It does help out the channel's algorithms, gets them up in the listings there. And also, if you really want to help out the channel financially, you can do for as little as £1 a month, and that is through Patreon. And also channel memberships, both of which the links are down in the descriptions, and in both of those you will get ad-free and early access videos to 99% of the things that I record. Right, okay, I shall leave it to that, and I will say I will see you once again in the next Storm of Steel video.